like every time in Karnataka, this time as well, all parties have focused on the Lingayat and the Vokkaliga communities. The Lingayats constitute around 30% of the BJP's total candidates, and as a community, the total state's population, the Lingayat share in the total state population is 17%. The JDS has also given the highest number of 22% tickets to the Vokkaliga community, keeping in mind its core vote. So these two communities are extremely important in Karnataka, and as we progress towards the elections, it's important to decode these caste calculations to understand the Karnataka elections even better. And to understand that further, we have Veera Raghav now joining us for more. And Veera Raghav, it's extremely complicated to say the least, the caste calculations that we're looking at when it comes to Karnataka, but it is one of the most important factors to look at if at all we want to understand the election. So take us through the caste calculations in Karnataka and the entire caste breakdown, and why it's important for the various parties, and why various parties are focusing on these specific communities.
Well, it's actually it's complex, but it's also easy. At some level, it is purely because of the social arithmetic that you have, the results that you have in Karnataka, as we've explained before. Because of the different regions that exist in the state, they vote very differently, and hence you don't have one overpowering issue or an overarching narrative, which results in a micro sort of management of these elections. Plus, there are about 84 seats in this state, which keep shifting from one party to another. 30 of them, for instance, was with a voting margin, victory margin of less than 5,000 votes last time. Largely, as you mentioned, the Lingayats, the Vokkaliga, and the Ahinda caste calculus, which is there. BJP see as a party which has traditionally been strong amongst the Lingayat sect. But you see these numbers, the problem with these numbers is sometimes they don't really reveal the whole picture. It's also a question of how many strong Lingayat and strong Vokkaliga candidates are being fielded by the parties, not just the overall number that exists in that bid. As far as the BJP is concerned, yes, it's had this traditional vote base in the Lingayat base, which was originally with the Janata movement, which shifted with the BJP. Yediyurappa is considered the tallest leader amongst the Lingayats. I don't think there's been a replacement for him as yet as the top in terms of Lingayat leadership. The Vokkaliga caste base, which is of course OBC Vokkaliga caste base, concentrated around in the old Mysore region. Enormous narrative in places like Mandya, and that's the JDS belt. So you will have the JDS fielding largely Vokkaliga candidates in that belt, in that area. Because the Congress largely looking at, you've got two leaders in the Congress who are leading the charge. One is Siddaramaiah, who represents the Ahinda caste coalition, which is all the other castes apart from the Lingayat and the Vokkaliga, all the other social groups, religious and caste social groups that exist, come together under the Ahinda caste calculus. And the Congress, of course, trying to balance that. Look, the story really is different in different parts of the state. I think two very important aspects in this election. One is, given the kind of dissidents that one has seen, there seems to be an attempt by the Congress to try and take back the at least penetrate back into the Lingayat strongholds. That would be one test, given the exodus of leaders like Jagdish Shettar and Lakshman Sabdi. They're banking on that too, and the optics that's created to try and woo back some section of that Lingayat vote. The other and the more important aspect is that in the Vokkaliga bastion, in the Mandya belt, there is a fight again for that vote, because the BJP, unlike in the past, is also trying to attempt not to just completely abdicate that space. And the Congress, of course, has the state Congress president who represents that caste. So Congress also putting up a fight for this vote. So that's pretty much it, Riyanshi. Sort of a long story short, yes, these social arithmetic really become the defining feature of a Karnataka election.